a quick break for question answers.
My question is for about your views on the big towns like London, Windsor, or Sarnia, those kind of towns. What are your views on those towns with the real estate industry?
So guys, and I think that's a very intelligent question, especially about real estate industry. So what was happening like 5-10 years before? If you look at the demographics of the immigrants, where they were landing and where they were buying the properties, it was all saturated in GTA area, Greater Vancouver area, Edmonton and Calgary, downtown, and all those areas, right? Where because the simple reasons for that was your friends, family members, relatives are living in Brampton and Mississauga. Now, in 2020, like I would say after 2017, right? That is where all this started happening. Like, the market was too low and then it really went up. The prices shot up like anything in 2017. Of course, there was an ups and downs, but the real action started somewhere in 2019 and 2020, when the prices were out of the reach for an investor, for a first-time home buyer, and for millennials. Now, we as human beings, we are very smart. We always try to find out solutions, right? And then COVID actually gave another push to it, where a lot of companies, a lot of organizations, they started saying, okay, work from home, work from home. That opened up a lot of people to take the decision to go into the suburbs. So after 2017, 2018, slowly, if you see, the people started moving out from the GTA area and the other areas started developing. Niagara, Hamilton, all that's Sarnia. So all those areas, people started spreading out over there. Same thing is like, the student, because they are also another big, and when I talk about student, it's not only about South Asian students, it is about Chinese as well. It is about other communities who are coming and actually spreading out, going to different colleges at different cities. So they start feeling comfortable in those cities, right? And then came the programs from the government where people were not going too much. So government, provincial government, federal government started giving incentives, started giving push to people. You come and live here, right? Because that boost up the economy, that boost up the population over there. Do you know the biggest problem with Canada is? I think if I'm not wrong, the stat says Canada is basically negative growth population if new immigrant doesn't land into this country. So there's almost 300 deaths which happens every year in Canada, and 300,000, and 270,000 new birth. So think about it, it is declining. So just because of those reasons, I see a lot of movement happening into those markets. And the prices are going up, a lot of people, they are moving out there, but still those cities, they need infrastructure, they need more jobs, right? And it is a process. So next 5 years, I see a lot of people moving to suburbs. But the challenge comes, the biggest hit of the real estate prices happens to those suburbs when the market goes down. The reason behind that is there's not enough sales there. There's not enough movement of real estate there. If you look at the Brampton, Mississauga, Toronto market, on an average, the house gets sold 3 times in 10 years. Whereas if you look at those suburbs, it is like maybe not even 1 time in 10 years. So, but still the way immigrants are coming, still the way the load is there onto these major cities, because they don't have land, they don't have infrastructure, and then they don't have enough resources to accommodate more people. So I am expecting in next 3 to 5 years, market is very bright in those cities, right? So that will give you some understanding, but again, real estate can never be predicted like on a bigger scale. Real estate can be predicted locally only. I cannot tell you what is going to happen to the Canadian real estate as a whole, because every market has its own demographics, its own characteristics.
So what are your thoughts on role of mentorship and coaching in developing the next generation? I saw you telling about you want to be the mentor to teach the next generation. So, what are the areas you think is important for us to know or concentrate in building for our future?
First of all, let me explain you the role of mentorship. The role of a mentor is like a GPS. You want to reach to a destination without having a map or GPS with you? Will you reach on that destination? Good chances you will reach on that destination. That you're going to stop your car, ask from people. Let's say you're going from Mississauga to Toronto and you want to go a specific route. And you don't have a GPS, you don't have a map with you. You have to stop your car at 30 places. There's good chances somebody might misguide you. You might come back, this and that, zigzag. So you're going to cover that journey maybe within 5 hours or 6 hours to reach at your destination. Just because you don't have the right mentorship. So if you have that GPS with you, you can see which area is the traffic. You can reroute yourself. You can make those decisions. Mentorship is like a GPS for you. It is a like guide for you, which can save you from so many hassles and can give you the right direction when you are having the challenging time. Can give you a lot of information beforehand because somebody has gone through that journey. So I consider the role of mentor is very important to expedite your success. But if you are smart, intelligent, you are blessed, you believe in hard work, you will still get success. Right? I'm an example in front of you. Without mentorship, I reached here. But my success, my journey could have been expedited if I had some right mentorship. Right? So what was your second question?
So, what are the things is important for us to know or concentrate to build for our future?
If I tell you the most important thing, what I personally believe today's generation should work on, which they are lacking a lot. And I see majority of the youngsters, they are lacking that. That is your emotional intelligence. People are so emotionally fragile, especially youngsters. गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ लड़ाई होगी, सुसाइड करने चल पड़े. छोटा सा लॉस हो गया, like they lost their, pretty much they are losing their life. If they got a small failure, they started drinking. If they are not able to get a little success, started taking drugs. Right? Social media nonsense. Somebody said something to you on social media, you don't know that person, you started getting upset on somebody. You started abusing people on social media. What is that? That is lack of emotional intelligence. So I personally want youngsters to learn how to be emotionally more stable. If they just work on that, just on that small thing which they are thinking is very small, but everybody thinks they are emotionally very stable. It is not the fact. So I deliberately keep teasing them. I deliberately keep touching their emotions so that they can become strong. They can become more resistant. So I'll give you an example of my daughter. She's 17. And I keep teasing her all the times deliberately because if I don't tease her, somebody else is going to do her. And she's going to emotionally break there. See, emotional intelligence is, first of all, understanding and controlling your own emotions. That is half of the emotional intelligence. But the other half of it is understanding other people's emotion and controlling them too. You got what I mean? That is called as an emotional intelligence. So you understand your own emotions and you understand the emotion of others and then behave accordingly. Right? That is the real emotional intelligence. And I think first we lack our understanding our own emotions, and then so many times we lack understanding other people's emotions. So that is missing a lot. And the simple reason for that is we are having a lot of less communication. If you see, like, 40, 50 years before, there were like joint families. There were a lot of communication which we were doing with our parents, grandparents. And there was a lot of emotional stability within the families. Now because people are living alone, They are spending a lot of time on social media. They are actually surrounded by such atmosphere where they are losing their emotional stability. So my humble request to all of you guys, don't get disappointed on small failures in your life. Failures is a part of, are the stepping stone of your success. I meet a lot of realtors, सर मेरी डील खराब हो गई. क्या हुआ? मैंने कहा सर वो लिस्टिंग थी, उस पर ऑफर आई थी, वो थ्रू नहीं हुई. मैंने कहा अच्छा लिस्टिंग है? कहते हैं हाँ है. मैं कहा फिर डिसअपॉइंट क्यों हो रहा है? फिर दोबारा बेच देंगे. We'll sell it again. You have a client, your deal fell through, don't get disappointed. We'll do it again. Right? As simple as that. But just because there is no guidance, no mentorship to us, we think we lose our emotions.
What's the importance of a story? You are a storyteller, you always share your personal story. How important is that? And second, when you look at your daily schedule, because I think there was a great question yesterday, what's your daily schedule? What's the secret of your success?
Let's talk about storytelling in our life. Why storytelling is important. Guys, understand the purpose and value of the stories. If you look at the history of the mankind, whenever something is being explained in a story, it is easy for us to understand. Our brain, our nervous system is more receptive to understand things when they are told in the form of a story. That's how we are built up. All the good messages, all the movies, all the books, all the sculptures what we see, Gita, Quran, Bible, everything is in the form of a story. Now guys, what Meerwise mentioned about self-awareness, self-reflection and self-regulation, just understand, just pick up one point out of it. Just pick up the self. So what does that mean? Everything lies in you. I cannot help you to become successful if you don't want to. I cannot teach you anything if you don't want to. I'm just a tool for you. Now, how can we self-regulate ourselves? How can we become more self-aware? So for that, there are some techniques, and your schedule, your day-to-day activities is very, very important in that. So I start my day at 3:30 in the morning, the time you sleep most of the time. So I start my day at 3:30 in the morning. I do my meditation for an hour, right? That is one of a very good tool to become self-aware. Because that is the time when you are just composed. And guys, there is a scientific reason for that. Somewhere in between 3:20, 3 to 4, what we call as a Brahm Muhurat. So, whole universe is vibrating. Every single particle on this universe is vibrating. So, at 3:20 or somewhere in that time range, 3:20, 3:30, there are alpha and beta particles in our brain, and they are at a frequency, because of the alignment with the magnetic field of the earth, they are at a frequency where it is an key to our subconscious brain. So on that frequency, our subconscious brain gets open. A lot of you might know that we just use 5 to 10% of our brain. Rest is our subconscious brain. If you get an access to that subconscious brain, it is like a computer. You are seeing something on the computer, somebody put a secret drive, put a password. If you get access to that secret drive through that password, if you can unlock that code, you can access to a lot of information. And a lot of time people, they prefer to do the meditation at that time, because at that time you can actually access your subconscious brain, where you get a lot of information, knowledge, and a lot of strength and power. So I start my day at 3:30, 1 hour meditation, then I read book for 1 hour. Then I do my gym, go around with my dogs, stay connected to the nature. I spend that time with myself. Then I start my meetings. Then Krish has to go to school at 8 o'clock, so I give him 10-15 minutes at that time. And around 9:30, I get ready for the office. My meetings are lined up. I'm scheduled to work without schedule. That's very important. You won't find me free for even a second during the whole day. So then I take my nap at 2 to 3. So that gives me, that recharge my battery, and it gives me extra power to work for a little bit extra hours. So then from 3 to 7, I do my meetings, I do my stuff, whatever needs to be done. And then at around 7, 7:30, I have my dinner, and 9:30, I'm on bed. 9:30. I might be watching TV only for 1 hour, maybe in the month, in the whole month, which a lot of you guys spend time onto it. If I am on social media, I am using it smartly. I'm either learning from it or I am sharing some information onto it. I do spend time on social media, but thoughtfulness, right? So your schedule, your daily activity can help you to become self-aware, to have a lot of self-reflection, and to self-regulate you.